In terms of the current week, cool. Um, hey, hey, once again. Let's gather everything we have at the current moment and discuss your possible questions. As you might be noticed, yesterday was the deadline for the 4JS interview. I encouraged you several times to contact in case if you haven't passed it and scheduled. Unfortunately, the time is out. Um, what can be said here? One more time, please let us know in case you've experienced some problems with passing the interviews. So maybe you have a problems contacting with the mentor, or something goes wrong. So please let us know individually about all of your cases in case if you experience some problems with the interview. Meanwhile, we're moving on. So another Angular week. Last time we already should be accomplished the several modules. To my mind, those are the the most crucial ones. For instance, the how to communicate with the backend via the HTTP client, how to make use of the main single page application mechanism called routine, and how what's all about, and why Angular framework is modular, and how can we make use of its modularity by creation of modules and third-party logic through services. So yeah, for the current week, yeah, so a couple of modules will be for you. And last time you should have begun the project management task. So yeah, as I said previously, because some restrictions on Heroku applied recently, most of the demos are not accessible right now, but I hope you got the main idea of how the project should look like. However, in case if you still need some working demo for your reference, so for now uh, you could look at the Trello as the simplest and the most popular example. And as I mentioned, so the design of the entire application is fully up to you. Um, so you can use any of the existing systems just for your reference, and which of them is the most has most feasibility to implement within the terms that we have during the stage 3. So as you see, we have 1 month to accomplish the project management task. So please let us know in case of any other issues or questions, especially with the backend, because we try to ask to fix some of the backend features, but I still got the messages that something's still wrong. Just in case. So nowadays I could reply with some delays due to a very busy workload, but still don't get upset. I will let you know about your the solution to your problem as soon as I can. So please still encourage you to ask us all the questions that you have at the moment. So I don't know. Maybe that's it we wanted to cover for today. So maybe Anna, you have some more info to add.
No, I have no.
Okay, so in that case, Q&A time. Uh, how is it going with the project management? Is everything clear, or you need some more info to to clarify, or you have some issues with and something is unclear from the Angular point of view, so maybe you want me to show you something, because I know that not all the mentors have Angular in their skill set. So that's why I encourage you to ask Angular related question. First, try to do that with your mentor. In case if you see that mentor is not able to help you with Angular since he don't know the Angular, he works with React or any other technology. So please ask such questions to me. I will ready to help. First one, is service the best way to do data transfer? So if by data transfer you mean making the HTTP or any other request, then yes. In the layered architecture, service is the best way to organize the communication between parts of the application. So if you want to make some requests, some third-party requests, it could be REST request, GraphQL, I don't know, WebSocket. So service is the best way to organize such logic. And of course, yeah, service is not only about making the request or transfer the data. Services could also be used for some shared or third-party logic that could be encapsulated in one place. So instead of like having multiple helper functions stored somewhere else, you can use services. And one of the greatest feature of services is dependency injection, which means that it also enables you having some state that could be shared across other consumers. So for example, your service could store, I don't know, translation keys, for example, right? And you need to access those translation keys from other parts of the application. And because services in Angular use DI mechanism, it allows you to have a one single state shared across all the parts without tying to a concrete component or service. It's shared with everything. So yeah, you can make use of DI for your purpose and create not only the communication service that uses HTTP client, but also some kind of logic. Okay, other than service, view chart and input output, which one is better to use? So perhaps I didn't get your question, but maybe let's refresh um the info about each of these decorators. So input output, I believe it's obvious. So this decorator applies for the components where you perform input property or event binding. View child allows you to get the element from the current template. You can refer to such element by template name or by a directive name. Okay, maybe we'll return later on. Sorry, I didn't understand. Do we have to wait for the backend link to be updated? No, you don't need. It's ready to use. So you can use backend locally. That's what I exactly encouraged you last time. So even though, well, let's say it's not necessary to deploy the backend. I know there is the issue with the deployment, right? So I told it already last time, I tell right now. So in case if you can deploy the backend, okay, you can do that. In case if you experience some problems, don't waste your time, just work with it locally, and whenever you'll be ready with your task, just make the comment that to work with that application, you need to run the backend locally. And that should be enough. Okay, so with the decorators regarding input, output, and view child, I believe it's clear. So in case if you need, I don't know, more information, so we can refer to the documentation. So first of all, what I wanted to mention here, as I mentioned, ViewChild decorator allows you to get the element by the multiple means. First, you can refer to the template name to initialize, to assign a template name to some of the elements. Here, for instance, without my component, here could be any other HTML element. To assign the template name, you simply put the hash and some variable name. And then this element could be accessible from your component instance by using ViewChild decorator, right? So this is the first time. Secondly, you can use ViewChild to refer to the element by the directive or component name. I don't know why some service included here, but here should come the component name, component or directive. So yes, I said directive because if you use some directive um, for your components and you want to grab all the elements that use the same director, you can refer to the directive name right here so that you will get all the element that uses this or that particular directive, or by component name simply. Just keep in mind that structurally, components and directives are quite similar. The only difference between components and directives is that directive do not have its own template, right? So component is the combination of the directive, which is the component class, and the template. So that's why I refer to the directive. So I don't remember whether I have more examples in my repository. So in case if you need more info, so I believe we can discuss. For internationalization, should we use built-in INTN or NGX translate? It's up to you because built-in internationalization has its own pros and cons, right? Um, to put it simply, if you need the simplest way to organize the internationalization in our application, and you want to have possibility to dynamically translate your application at the runtime, then I would encourage to use NGX Translate, since it's more flexible and the easiest way to use. In case if you need to have full control of all of the messages and keys within your application, you don't want to manually type in all the messages into your translation files. You want to have control, then I believe you need to use the built-in feature. But in our case, I would encourage using NGX Translate, since it's the easiest way to organize the translation feature. Okay, is there any other questions?
Hi.
Mhm.
Yeah, actually, I have a question. Maybe I missed it, but
Okay, let's give it a try.
for, yeah. So if mentors, for example, they didn't work with Angular framework, but they need to check our task, will they be checking
The
our task?
task will be read. Yes, I haven't covered this question. So, how the task will be evaluated? So, it's all the tasks will be distributed among mentors who is ready to check the task, and the parts of us will be taken by us.
Okay, so by schedule, we need to be done with the task, like, I think the last day is 27th of March, right? So, like, do we need to have a score by that time as well, or it can be like given us later?
So this is the deadline for you to submit the task, and obviously the score will be later on, because this application will be complex, lots of code. It definitely requires some time to verify, to put the comments. So yeah, obviously the same process as for other regular tasks. So 2 weeks to evaluate it, 2 weeks at the maximum, right? So of course we will strive to get to evaluate the task a bit earlier, but the process the same. Here you have the deadline for the task submission, and then the verification and evaluation goes, right?
Okay, so on the exit interviews that we have, like the next week after, like the same week after the deadline is, like, is it gonna be about Angular only? It's not gonna be about project, just like basic questions like you have for JS Core?
Well, perhaps I haven't got your question, unfortunately.
Okay, okay. So, are we gonna during the interview, the last one, are we gonna have questions just for Angular, not the project? Like, there will be no questions about the project that we did, right?
Let me answer this question. The final interview is interview through the company. So at the end of the Angular task, I will share information about the student with the offices, and they will contact you and organize the interview if they will have possibility, demand, and so on. So the last interview will be according all information you got during the course.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, let's see. So still I see some of you encounter some issues with the backend. Okay, so just give it maybe I would say the following. So give a try to others. Maybe someone has solution. And give me some time to check it. Maybe I put the wrong link to the backend. So for now it shouldn't be a blocker. But yeah, I know. So let's give me a try. So maybe I know what's the issue is. Um, okay. Anything else? No. Okay, that looks like no. So we're good to close the call and get further with our activities. But anyway, thanks everybody for your attention, for your questions. I will let you know when I got know more about the backend issues and let you know accordingly. So thanks everybody and have a great and see you later.
Thank you. Have a good week. Bye bye.
Thank you. Have a good week.